Jose from the Denver Public Library ideaLAB. Welcome to Learn, Make, Share. Today, we'll learn how to begin making music in Soundtrap. Soundtrap is a free, online, digital audio workstation that you can use in your computer's web browser or use the app. We're going to work in the web version and make a very short, basic song. You can use what you learned today to make beats over which you can lay vocals, create your own ringtone, make background music for a game or video, or even begin recording for your own podcast. This video is an introduction on how to work with tracks, use the BeatMaker, add loops, and create your own melodies with virtual instruments. Everybody works at their own pace, so please pause the video if you need to, and rewind if something isn't clear.
To use Soundtrap, you'll need any device with an internet connection and browser. If you've got a PC, Mac, or Chromebook, you can head to soundtrap.com and click on Join Now to create an account for free with your email. If you're using a phone or tablet, there's a free Soundtrap app in both the Android and Apple stores you can install. Click on Get Started when you open the app to create a new account. In terms of materials, I recommend using headphones, which will be very helpful for when we start editing our sounds, as it will allow for closer listening. You can also connect a MIDI piano keyboard and will work with Soundtrap's instruments, but it isn't required to play or record your instrument. Once you're logged in, click Enter Studio on the web version or create a new project in the app version to start a new project. You should see something like this when you first enter the studio. Soundtrap organizes all the sounds in your project as tracks. You can see these as separate lines across the screen. Think of it like a sandwich of sounds, all layered one on top of the other. While the tracks are layered top to bottom, time goes left to right. You'll see this line, called the scrubber, move across the tracks as they get played. The first step in beginning a new project is to start with a new track, which you can do by clicking on the Add New Track tile in the empty workspace. You can also use the plus sign on the left-hand side of the workspace. This will open the Add New Track menu, allowing you to choose what kind of instrument to play. From here, you can access the Loops library, allowing you to browse premium musical phrases, and you can also find the BeatMaker by clicking on the Drums and Beats button. Another way to get to the BeatMaker or the Loops library is to use the tiles. There are multiple ways to do the same thing in Soundtrap, so just use the one that's easiest for you. In this example, we'll start with the BeatMaker, but you can really start at any point with any instrument or loop. To use the BeatMaker, you're going to have to use a little bit of music theory. We can see down here at the bottom that there are 16 tiles. All of these make up one measure. A measure is a musical unit of time that can be divided into beats. By default in Soundtrap, each measure is divided into 4 beats, and each one of those beats is broken down into 4 even smaller beats. This is why there are 16 tiles total per measure. Notice how the tiles are grouped into 4 big groups? The groupings represent 4 beats per measure. Each one of the tiles is a quarter of the beat. Now notice the ruler at the top of the tracks. Those numbers mark measures, and the smaller increments mark the beats within the measure. Let's practice making a simple rhythm. Put a bass kick on the first and third beats, and a snare hit on the second and fourth beats. Also, when you open the BeatMaker, the cycle tool above the measure marks can be activated by clicking on it, if it's not already activated when creating a new beat. I'm going to set my cycle tool to cycle every 8 measures. This means that now these 8 measures will be repeated until I deactivate the cycle tool. With this, you can edit your rhythm during playback, but to avoid losing your place, you can turn the follow beat function off in the top right corner of the BeatMaker. After creating your rhythm, you should see a bubble in the drum track line. You can use the loop tool to repeat your rhythm as long as you need. The loop tool can be found by moving your cursor over the top right edge of the audio bubble. Click and drag to the right to loop your audio. The tiny indentations indicate where the loops begin and end, which is useful if you're keeping track of measures. Using the loop tool can be useful when you have a repetitive beat or melodic line. You record once, and then you can loop it out as far as you need. Now that we have a rhythm to build on, we can adjust how fast or slow we want our piece to be. The speed of a song is called the tempo and is measured in beats per minute, or BPM. The number you see in the controls at the bottom is the tempo in beats per minute. This number can be adjusted to fit your desired speed. You can change the tempo at any time, and most tracks and loops will change to the new speed. Above the BeatMaker tiles, you should see the name of the current drum set and knobs for reverb, pan, and volume. These are all tools you can use to change the sound of your drums. From here, you can try changing the type of drum kit and play it back to hear how it sounds. You can further edit your drum track by using the reverb and pan knobs. Reverb changes how long a note is heard after it is played. Using the pan function does not change the sound of the track itself, but rather it changes where you hear it. If you pan a track all the way to the left, you'll only hear it from the left side of your headphones or stereo. Same thing if you pan the other way. This can be done with all your tracks. Click on the icon to the very left of the desired track to show the instrument. With these controls, you can really customize and build out your sound. At this point, it is worth noting that you can undo or redo previous actions. These controls can be found at the top of the workspace. While we're here, we can also save our project by clicking the Save button. Now that we have a rhythm, let's add a loop on top of our beat. Loops are pre-recorded tracks that you can combine to make your own song. They could be beats, guitar bass lines, or synthesizer melodies. In the New Track menu, click on Loop Library at the bottom of the pop-up. The library can also be accessed at any time by clicking the purple musical note bubble on the right side of the workspace. In this library, you'll find a search bar, instruments, and genres, which are types of music, to narrow your search, and underneath, a list of all the results. Without typing in a search, the list will show every loop available, so we'll need to narrow down our results. You can type in the search bar, use the buttons, or both to narrow your search, and the list will update accordingly. After finding your desired loop, you can drag it to your track line and place it, or you can double click on your selection to automatically create a new track and the loop will start at the beginning. Just like the rhythm we made in the Patterns BeatMaker, you can use the loop tool to repeat a loop. As mentioned previously, you can use the instrument controls to alter the sound of your loop track. This is a good time to note that if you need to delete a track, make sure the track you want to remove is selected. Then, click on the track options and click Delete Track. You can also press Shift Backspace or Shift Delete on a Mac to delete the selected track. Now we'll move on to playing with instruments. Soundtrap gives us the ability to play instruments with our keyboard. Using instruments allows for the most creative control because it's you playing and not a pre-made recording. To add an instrument, create a new track. Then, pick an instrument family you want to explore. For this demo, I chose to use a synthesizer. Whichever instrument you choose, you will start with a default sound. To change this and open the instrument library, click on the box above the piano keyboard that displays the instrument and its family. After choosing an instrument, notice the controls above the piano keys. These allow you to change the sound of your instrument just like with the BeatMaker. If you have a MIDI keyboard that you can connect, you can use it in Soundtrap, but it isn't required. You'll notice that the piano keys are marked with numbers and letters. These are here to show you that you can also use the computer keys to play the instrument. It may be useful to use the cycle tool in order to practice on top of your beat. Once you practice enough playing with your instrument, try recording it. To begin recording, click on the record button at the bottom, or you can use the keyboard shortcut by hitting Control Space. A countdown will begin, which will lead into you playing with your keyboard. Remember that you can use undo to fix a mistake, or delete a track to start anew. Most importantly, don't forget to save your work. This concludes today's tutorial. In future videos, we'll teach you how to edit your recordings in the piano roll, export your project so you can share, and show you how to collaborate with other Soundtrap users. Thanks for making with me today, and for being interested in learning about working with audio in Soundtrap. I hope that you take some of these skills and make your own songs, score a video you're creating, or start your own podcast. If you want to learn more about Soundtrap, check out some of the resources I've linked in the description, including information about how to join our live discussion about Soundtrap. If you want to show off what you've made, tag us on social media with #ideaLABmakes.